Hey there, and happy Fun Friday. I lured Amanda over here today. We're having so much fun. Amanda, do you want to tell them about our fun little adventure?
Yeah.
We're maxed out.
We are maxed out. She promises me we are not breaking and entering, but we are in a friend's house of hers in Manzanita. But if I go missing, it's because I've landed in jail thanks to Gia.
Right.
Somebody bring bail money.
I'm like, oh yeah, my neighbor said you could use the house. Go on in. I'll be there in a minute. And here we are.
Here we are.
So if anybody comes in behind us, if we, it's all going to be wonderful. And we're having so much fun on this Friday.
Woo!
So Amanda, you wear a lot of hats, and you've got a lot of stuff going on right now.
I do, yeah. I wear a few different hats. One of them is I am the lead of the Tillamook County Suicide Prevention Coalition, and we do have a pretty big event coming up on Saturday, March 14th, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and it is an Out of the Darkness campus walk. So Out of the Darkness walks are part of American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's programming. And so it's a way to raise awareness around suicide prevention and raise some funds to support AFSP in their programming. But what's extra special about this walk is that it is a senior project.
Oh,
so there is a
awesome.
There is a young lady at THS that is utilizing this as her senior project. So please register, come join us, walk, help fundraise. The link is just afsp.org/Tillamook High, and that'll get you to the website to register. You can form a team, which we've got a few teams signed up. There are some incentives for folks to sign up and fundraise. It's been kind of a quick turnaround. We've been kind of pulling this together only since January, so we are looking forward to it. And we've got some, we're gonna have a guest speaker and some really beautiful opening ceremonies to honor those that have been impacted by suicide. We're gonna have a resource fair that's happening alongside, so folks can come and, not only support a great cause, but check out what the local community resources are available. And then we're gonna do some laps around the track. You can walk as little or as much as you want within that time frame. And I just found out today that Tillamook Creamery is donating some yummy goodies. Ooh. So, food is always a nice incentive. So there will be snacks and raise some money, do a little walking, and end the day with an ice cream bar.
So good.
Ice cream
we're
sandwich.
going to have a table there too. And
Yes.
when I heard about that, we just really want to be a part of that and support that. It's so needed in our community.
Yes. And so again, please, if you can donate or sign up and participate, afsp.org/Tillamook High, and support Remy in her senior project. And that is also the morning that Representative Susan Bonamici is speaking at the high school for her town hall. And she may be making an appearance at the opening ceremonies of the walk. Nice. So yes, it's kind of a big deal, but of course it's a great cause. And I always like to support our seniors with their senior projects and everything that they do. So come on down. And if you want to get involved in the local Suicide Prevention Coalition, that's a great way to come and learn a little bit about who we are, what we do, and meet us as well and get involved if you'd like to do that as well. So.
And I'm going to put a link for that on the comments, and also a link to Amanda's all the other magic.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah, because another hat I wear, so that's all volunteer, but the hat that pays the bills
yes.
is my business, which is Value Yourself Counseling. And right now I'm actually again, within my business, I even wear a few different hats and do a few different things. Suicide prevention has always been something I've been passionate about, and mental health and healing and wellness. And so I'm actually working on a contract right now. I'm contracted to be with the Oregon Alliance to Prevent Suicide, and I'm supporting them through June with kind of helping co-lead that alliance. And so that's been interesting and fun. And it's a nice way to kind of be contributing again to suicide prevention, but now on a statewide level. But really, what really got me started in my business is I'm an advanced EFT Tapping practitioner. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. So yes, that is the thing where yes, you tap on your on yourself while I lead you through some kind of talk therapy, neuro-linguistic programming. But it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. I found it after I had tried hypnotherapy, talk therapy, EMDR, all the things, right? I had quite a history of trauma. I lost a lot of people in a very short amount of time, as well as other traumas in my life, and just was really stuck in freeze, right? Not even functional freeze. I was barely functioning. I would literally get up, I would make it to my couch, I would turn on Netflix, and then I would hang out and watch TV, and then I'd go take a nap. I mean, it was just, I was not functioning because the grief had been kind of buried and had gotten heavy. And so I was starting to kind of come out of that. I was like, okay, I don't want to go back to work, but what can I do, right? And I was like, well, I have a background in mental health and social services. What's the world of coaching, right? Was kind of out there. And I was like, let me look into that. So I started actually as a grief and self-care coach, which self-care was interesting for me. That was something I had to reclaim because I actually had a boss that had made self-care pretty toxic because she was micromanaging our self-care. We had to report to her at work what we were doing in our personal time for our self-care.
That doesn't sound very friendly.
Takes the self out of self-care.
Yeah. That's a personal journey.
Yeah. So I started as a grief and self-care coach, and then I, through one of my business coaches, met Jackie McDonald, and she was doing a demonstration of the EFT tapping, and she has her own modality where it's very similar to clinical EFT, but it is really where we can go in and do parts of self-work and really honor where the person is at in a really gentle way, and also like meet them in the here and now, do the past work and do some of that future manifestation work. So I was hooked immediately. I was following along in this online live that she was doing through my coach's page and bawling. And I literally felt this huge weight come off my body that had been there for the last couple years. And I was like, okay, if this magic can happen in 5 minutes, I'm in. Right. Yeah. Where's how do I sign up? Yes. I want this for myself. This is what I want to do in the world. This is unlike anything I've ever tried.
Those moments are, when you get that, and when you can share that to the world, there's nothing better.
And so I literally was like, please tell me that you're on here, like you're promoting that you are going to be teaching this. And sure enough, she was. Could not get her my credit card fast enough. And then I found out she did advanced EFT training, which allowed me to feel like I was honoring, I'm a grad school dropout. I do value education and personal growth. And so I was like, okay, that's a way for me to go in and honor that trauma healing piece, the things that I wanted to do as a licensed clinical social worker. Didn't make it to that mark, but this is a way for me to actually meet people where they're at and do healing in a way that feels way more aligned with who I am as a person.
I was going to say, that sounds more like you. There's a reason when those things don't work out. Sometimes others know what's best for us when we can't see it.
And I'm, like I said, I'm doing this contract right now, and it is illuminating that dropping out of grad school was the right choice.
Yeah.
And it is also, I'm utilizing the training I did get, and I'm just like, yeah, I like being my own boss.
Yes.
I like having my own business. And I like getting to meet people where they're at without having to worry about red tape or bureaucracy or insurance, which, I am, private pay, which does kind of makes it hard for folks that need to rely on insurance, but I do have a sliding fee scale. And I just really love helping folks. I mostly work with women or folks with marginalized identities. And we focus on healing patriarchal programming, unpacking that shame, the grief, the trauma, all those things that kind of come from living in a world that puts a lot of outer expectations on us that often don't align with who we really are at our core. And so I just help women and marginalized folks get back to that empowered self, right? Like we've all got that empowered self within us, but sometimes things get layered on top. So I help you shed those layers and kind of come back into who you're meant to be. And it feels really good to watch my clients kind of find themselves again and get to come back to being in the driver's seat of their lives and get that empowerment and do that deeper healing. And I do come with a warning, I will say.
What is it? Give it to us.
I am really good at making people cry.
Oh, yeah.
Very quickly. But that's in the best way possible because I tend to have that ability to hold up a mirror and kind of really reflect where some of those pain points might be. But I do it, the beautiful side of that gift, other side of that gift is that I do it in a way that is gentle and makes you feel safe and that you are totally able to show up just as you are in that moment without any judgment or shame. And getting those reflections back from my clients has always been the most beautiful gift, because I strive to do no harm and to create spaces that healing can happen in the most natural and beautiful way, because I've faced harm. I've been on the receiving end of having therapists that have done harm or being in relationships that have done harm. And there's that power differential, right? I don't, just because I'm the practitioner that you're hiring, I try to make sure there's not that power differential, because that's where harm and hurt happens. And then people aren't making the progress that they could be making. And so I strive to build a really beautiful container for folks to do that deeper work in.
I've been even deeper called to work with, or to align myself with people who help people find their own empowerment, and not to rely on us and think that we have all the answers, because we're just helping them find their way, and you have the answers, and so it's so beautiful. And I just have to say, I think I first met you a couple of years ago at the Energy Healing event.
Yes.
And I have your magnet. I love magnets.
Oh, yes.
And I have your magnet on my refrigerator, so every day I walk by, and I think it's self-care is a necessity, not a privilege. Yes. And that is so beautiful. And I think we have one of those coming up again soon.
We do, in May, over Memorial Day weekend. I had done the first 4, and then I took a break because life was kind of busy, and I just signed up to do this one in May, where I will hopefully be promoting. I'm doing some deep intensives with a coach this month to develop some new programming and hopefully some retreats. I've been really wanting to do some deep healing retreats, because we live in a beautiful place here on the Oregon coast, and why not, right? Invite people out here. This is a beautiful space where we can use our environment to do some of that healing in, and some of that, soul restoration.
Yes.
And I just am looking forward to building out those programs. I recently came up with an acronym. Everybody likes acronyms, right? Like, we've got all the POTUS and FLOTUS and all the different ones, right? Even EFT, right? It's an acronym. And so the word hope has always had meaning to me, especially with my background in suicide prevention, right? Hope is the antidote to suicide. And it was my grandma's middle name. My grandma was my person, and it was her middle name. And so I'm going to be building off HOPE, and it stands for Healing the Oppressive Programming for Empowerment.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is okay. That is good. That is really good. I love that.
That clicked. I was watching actually a beautiful presentation by a couple of folks from Lines for Life. They did this wonderful presentation on hope, and talking about, again, moving from isolation to communities of care, and building community care, and all these really beautiful ways of how we can build hope into our communities. Because right now the world's a little bit on fire.
We need some
and
hope.
People
right
need
now.
hope.
Yeah, in a big way.
And that looks different for everybody, right? But again, what I boil down to in my suicide prevention work, in my EFT practice, in my equity and diversity and inclusion work that I do as well, it all boils down to that unpacking of and healing from patriarchal programming. So I'm just going to keep hope as my kind of anchor.
And right now, that is more powerful than it's been. Yeah. It's finally, the veil has lifted, and we're actually allowed to call it that. And it's so needed and so beautiful. So good that you're doing this work.
And it's funny because a lot of women and folks don't even realize that it is stemming from patriarchal programming. Instead, they're just living in functional freeze. They're barely getting by. They feel like they've lost a little bit of their identity. They've lost their energy. Their relationships are struggling. They're on the verge of divorce, or they have divorced once or more, and they just are feeling like they have no kind of direction or sense of self anymore. And they're at a point where hope is starting to wane. They are feeling lost, and we'll start to do our EFT work, and we can go back and, it's, my father left when I was young, or I've always been in abusive relationships, or I am the people pleaser, right? And I make sure I put myself last and make myself small. And so, which often happens with us as women, right?
We're trained.
So learning how to take that space back up without any guilt or shame and put our needs and our priorities first, while also cultivating relationships then that work, right? And healthy boundaries, right? All those things. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to put the link there, and if anything resonates there, reach out to Amanda.
Yes.
She's going to be available at many different places coming up, so you can come and check her out there, or just reach out. We'll have the link there. So it's Friday. So my question for you is, where are you on the fun meter? You always have the power to add more fun in your life. So what are you going to do today to bump up the fun meter? I'm so grateful I get to be here with Amanda and share all of her brilliant gifts with you. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And we hope to see you at the high school.
Yeah. March 14th, 9:30 a.m. THS. Come and walk with us.
Thank you so much, and happy Fun Friday. Bye. See, and the police didn't come.
No.
We're good.
No police yet.
Woo. Bye.